We have choice. And, we could choose, like somebody, one of your listeners posted a little comment before, like gratitude is the secret matrix code, which I believe that too. We've spoken about that many times also. Gratitude's the best attitude, man. When you're grateful for things and you put that out there, your whole body's lighter, man. And if you don't believe that, then I invite your listeners to try it, man. Just try it. Be grateful. Spend one day in gratitude, whatever's going on, because there's always something to be grateful for. If you're breathing, if you're above the dirt, as they say, there's something to be grateful for. And see how you feel. Really, just check it out and see how you feel. Be grateful and watch how again the fog lifts, man. It works. Definitely works.
That was Pauline's practice. Was every morning to get up with her cup of coffee and say gratefulness prayers. So not only hold space to reflect, but also to reflect on all of the gifts that you were given. And I kept on with that tradition. And you taught me about putting my hands over my food and accepting that food into me gratefully. And I do the same practice, to this day about that. And so I think those are really good qualities. And I think, or things that you should keep in mind, or practices that you should start to employ if you really want to drive a better understanding of your moral compass. And one of the greatest things I learned about fear, right? Fear is like a ocean that's miles wide. And what you don't understand is if you step into the ocean, you will quickly realize it's only this deep. And therefore you can just keep walking.
Until it drops off like this.
Right. Just like you said, it's like when you take that first step off the fucking rung to take another step on this wire hanging up in the fucking trees, that first step is the hardest in the world.
Yeah, right? 1,000-mile journey begins with the first footstep. It's the hardest one, yeah.
Oh, God, yeah. But once you took that step, the next one becomes easier, and the next one becomes easier. And before you know it, you've conquered that fear because you realized there was nothing to fear other than fear itself. You put that fear in your head. So now you just got to learn to overcome it. And there's easy ways to do it. You don't have to skydive or jump off a cliff or any of these things. They can be a lot smaller and easier to deal with than that radical. Now, I appreciate radical. Believe me, I too had a fear of height that came over me. I used to be a rock climber. I had no fear whatsoever up on a mountain. I trusted my ropes and everything else until the one day I zippered a line. And again, I don't know how I survived. The only thing that held me was a rusty old piton at the beginning of the climb. So you had to climb up, clip your beaner into this rusty old piton, and then you could start the traverse. Yeah. Well, on a traverse, you're going horizontally, not straight up. So on a traverse, you're putting all this line out to get to the next chimney to go up. And so at the end of that traverse, my hands were shaking, my legs were shaking. I was super fucking tired. So I set up a couple pieces of opposing pro. Pro is the little nuts and bolts that you put in the crack to support yourself, like a piton. And then I went to sit back and kind of just give myself a chance to calm down before I had to do the chimney. Well, the pro that I set didn't hold. So as I fell back, those pulled out. Then the next one pulled out. The next one pulled out. So I did this giant fucking pendulum, right?
Scary.
And yeah, you talk about, like, I saw my whole life flash before my eyes. That is a thing, dude. That is a freaking thing. I swear to God, it's a thing.
Yeah.
And I came to rest upside down, pressed in a wedge in this cave. And I remember like tumbling and looking up and seeing these rocks coming at me and just like tucking my head in so it didn't whack me. And that's how I managed to get past that outcrop and into the cave, where once I hit the cave, I got wedged up in the top of it and I was okay. But then when I went back to climb, and I knew it, I go, look, I got to get back on my horse. I got to go back up and get my carabiner off that piton, or I'm never going to climb again. I'm going to be too scared.
Yeah.
Well, I did. I climbed up there and I got as I pulled my carabiner out, the piton came with it. And that's when the fear of heights began in my life. Now, learned to deal with it, not to the point where it paralyzes me or you know, freaks me out. I'm just not comfortable around it anymore.
Sure.
And blessed be that I had the opportunity to parachute later on in my life. Now, you don't go by yourself the first time. You have to go tandem with an instructor. And so I was talking to Roger, who was an uncle or a mentor of mine, about my fear, and he's like, "No, don't worry about it. Let's go parachuting. Let's do this, man. Let's get this by the
Let's
ball.
go have a perfectly good plane. Sure, why not?
Right?" And I'm like, "All right, if you got the balls to jump out of the plane, motherfucker, I'll come with you." Right? And that was pretty much the only reason I did.
Go first. I'll meet you on the ground. Yeah. Not me, man.
So lo and behold, he goes, right? And then I'm sitting in the plane. I'm looking out, and I'm like, "Oh, this is fucking Candyland." The ground, you can't see it. You're seeing this beautiful like landscape, and you know, the water, and all these beautiful the little clouds below you, and